It started as a joke, an offhand comment, a smirk, and an unspoken challenge. "You'd never survive as a woman," my best friend, Jenna, teased over drinks one Friday night. She leaned back in her chair, eyes gleaming with mischief. I had just made some clueless remark about how women have it easier after she vented about her long day at work. It was meant to be lighthearted, but her response was anything but. "Oh yeah?" I raised an eyebrow, my competitive streak igniting. "I bet I could do it for a month. How hard could it be?" The smirk disappeared, replaced by a serious expression I rarely saw. "You're on," Jenna said. 30 days. You live as a woman, full stop. Clothes, makeup, mannerisms, the whole deal. You do it properly, no half-assing. If you can pull it off, I'll pay for your next vacation." I laughed. The idea was ridiculous, but the thought of a free trip to Bali? Worth the trouble. "Deal," I said, extending my hand to shake hers. That was the night my life changed. Jenna wasted no time. The next day, she showed up at my apartment with shopping bags, a makeup kit, and an intensity that could rival a drill sergeant. "Okay, Liam," she said, dumping everything onto my couch, or should I say Leah? "You wanted this. Let's go." The first step was wardrobe. Watching Jenna sort through skirts, dresses, blouses, and heels, I began to regret my impulsive bravado. She handed me a knee-length floral dress and a pair of nude heels. "Put these on," she instructed, turning to rummage through her makeup bag. I stared at the clothes like they were alien artifacts. "You're serious?" "Completely." After a moment of hesitation, I stepped into my room and changed. The dress clung in ways I wasn't used to, and the heels felt like torture devices. When I finally emerged, Jenna burst into laughter. Okay, you look, well, this is just the beginning," she said, trying to stifle her giggles. Then came the makeup. Jenna worked on my face with the focus of a master artist. Foundation, eyeliner, mascara, lipstick, it was overwhelming. When she handed me a mirror, I hardly recognized myself. The man who had rolled his eyes at her complaints yesterday was gone. In his place was a woman with soft features, long lashes, and lips painted a deep red. "Whoa," I murmured. Jenna grinned. "Leah, meet the world." The world, meet Leah. The first day out in public was terrifying. We started small, a coffee shop in a quiet part of town. Jenna insisted on teaching me how to walk properly in heels. "Short steps, straight posture," she instructed. "And don't forget to sway your hips, just a little." I felt like everyone was staring. Every glance, every whisper. I was sure they knew. My heart raced as I ordered my latte, my voice trembling as I tried to pitch it higher. But no one batted an eye. Over the next week, Jenna pushed me further. Shopping trips, dinners, even a night out at a bar. Each time, I grew more comfortable in my new skin. By the end of the first week, I had learned to apply my own makeup, style a wig, and coordinate outfits. But it wasn't just about appearances. Jenna drilled me on the subtle nuances of being a woman, gestures, expressions, how to navigate conversations. "Being a woman isn't just about looking the part," she said one evening. "It's about understanding the world from a different perspective." I didn't understand what she meant yet. By week 2, I was starting to feel different. It wasn't just the clothes or the makeup. It was the way people treated me. Men held doors open, smiled more, and sometimes stared a little too long. Women were friendlier, chatting with me in lines or complimenting my outfit. But there was a darker side, too. One night, I was walking home from the grocery store when I noticed a man following me. My heart pounded as I quickened my pace, clutching my purse tightly. He didn't say anything, but the weight of his presence was suffocating. When I finally reached my apartment and slammed the door behind me, I realized my hands were shaking. Jenna's words echoed in my mind. It's about understanding the world from a different perspective. As the days passed, I started to see everything differently. At work, I told my boss I was taking time off to focus on personal development. Outside of work, I threw myself fully into the challenge. I made new friends, other women who welcomed me into their circles without hesitation. They shared stories about their lives, their struggles, their dreams. One afternoon, while sipping wine with a group of them, I realized I wasn't just playing a role anymore. I was living it. By the third week, Leah felt more natural than Liam. I caught myself smiling at my reflection, admiring the way a certain dress fit or the way my makeup highlighted my cheekbones. I experimented with different styles, finding pieces that felt authentically me. And then there was Alex. We met at a bookstore. He was tall, with dark hair and an easy smile. We reached for the same book, and the moment our hands touched, I felt a jolt. "Sorry," he said, stepping back. "No problem," I replied, my voice softer than usual. We ended up talking for almost an hour. He was charming, funny, and surprisingly insightful. When he asked for my number, I hesitated, but I gave it to him. The date was both thrilling and nerve-wracking. I wore a simple black dress, heels, and a swipe of red lipstick. Jenna had helped me get ready, giving me a pep talk as she curled my wig. "You've got this," she said, squeezing my hand. Dinner was perfect. Alex was attentive, asking questions and genuinely listening to my answers. For the first time, I felt seen, not as a man pretending to be a woman, but as Leah. When he walked me home, I caught myself hoping he'd kiss me. By the end of the month, I didn't want it to end. Living as Leah had opened my eyes in ways I never expected. I had learned to navigate a world that often felt like it was watching, judging, or dismissing me. I had discovered new facets of myself: vulnerability, empathy, strength. When the 30 days were up, Jenna asked if I was ready to go back to being Liam. I hesitated. "I don't know," I admitted. "I feel like I've found a part of myself I didn't know was missing." Jenna smiled. "Then maybe this isn't the end. Maybe it's just the beginning." It's been 6 months since that dare. I still go by Leah most of the time. I've embraced this new chapter of my life, exploring what it means to truly be myself. The dare may have started as a joke, but it turned into something far more profound. Because sometimes, it takes stepping into someone else's shoes to find out who you really are. The first time I told my parents about Leah, it didn't go the way I'd hoped. It wasn't intentional. I hadn't planned on revealing anything until I was sure of what Leah meant to me. But when my mom called one Saturday afternoon and asked why I hadn't been visiting, I blurted it out. "I've been busy." "With what?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "I've been, trying something new." "It's kind of experimental," I stammered, immediately regretting how vague I sounded. "What kind of experiment?" And that's how I ended up on a video call with my mom, fully dressed as Leah. Her face froze when the screen flickered to life. She blinked a few times, clearly trying to process what she was seeing. "Liam?" she asked hesitantly. "It's Leah," I corrected softly, bracing myself for her reaction. The silence stretched on, heavy and suffocating. "Finally," she said, "you look beautiful." I was taken aback. That wasn't the reaction I had anticipated. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Is this something serious, or just a phase?" "I don't know yet," I admitted. "But it feels real. It feels like something I need to explore." She nodded slowly, her expression unreadable. "Well, I've always told you to follow your heart. Just don't shut us out, okay? You're Dad, and I want to understand." That conversation was a turning point. For the first time, I felt like I didn't have to hide Leah, not from the people who mattered anyway. By the start of the second month, Leah was no longer just an experiment. She was a part of me, a version of myself I was still getting to know. I spent hours reflecting on my life before the dare. How often had I dismissed feelings I didn't fully understand? How many times had I brushed off the quiet longing to break free from the rigid expectations of masculinity? As Leah, I felt free to express emotions I had buried for years. I laughed more openly, cried more freely, and connected with people on a deeper level. It was as if a dam had broken, releasing a flood of authenticity I hadn't realized I was holding back. One evening, Jenna and I were sitting on my couch, sipping wine and scrolling through old photos. "Do you miss him?" she asked, nodding toward a picture of me as Liam, grinning at the camera during a camping trip. I stared at the photo for a long time before answering. "I don't think it's about missing him. It's more like I'm integrating him. Liam is still a part of me, but Leah is too. They're not separate people. They're just me. Jenna smiled, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. You've come a long way, you know. I'm proud of you. Her words hit me harder than I expected. I realized how much her support had meant throughout this journey. Without her, I might never have dared to take that first step. Alex, meanwhile, had become a bigger part of my life than I anticipated. At first, I was terrified he'd discover the truth. But as our relationship deepened, I knew I couldn't keep him in the dark forever. One night, after a particularly romantic dinner, he walked me home and kissed me goodnight. I could feel the weight of my secret pressing down on me, threatening to crush the fragile connection we had built. Alex, I said, my voice trembling. He turned, his smile fading when he saw the seriousness in my expression. What is it? I need to tell you something. We sat on my couch, and I took a deep breath. When we met, I wasn't entirely honest about who I am. His brows furrowed. Okay. I explained everything. How the dare started, how it had evolved, and how I had discovered a part of myself I hadn't known existed. I told him about Leah, about my struggles and fears, and about how much I valued the connection we shared. When I finished, he was silent for a long time. Finally, he said, "So, you're not who I thought you were?" "I'm still me," I said quickly. "I'm still the person you've been getting to know. There's more to me than you realized." He nodded slowly, his gaze distant. "I need some time to process this." I understood. It wasn't an easy thing to hear, and I didn't blame him for needing space. For the next few days, I threw myself into work, trying to distract myself from the ache of uncertainty. Would he come back? Could he accept me for who I was? When Alex finally called, my heart leaped into my throat. "Can we talk?" he asked. We met at a park, sitting on a bench under the shade of a sprawling oak tree. "I've been thinking a lot about what you told me," he began, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. "And I realized something. The person I care about isn't defined by labels or appearances. It's about how you make me feel, how you make me laugh, how you challenge me, how you make me want to be better." Tears welled up in my eyes as he reached for my hand. "Leah or Liam, it doesn't matter to me. What matters is you." In that moment, I knew I had found something rare and beautiful. Unconditional acceptance. By the end of the third month, I had made a decision. Living as Leah had taught me more than I ever could have imagined. Not just about femininity, but about identity, vulnerability, and self-discovery. I realized that I didn't have to choose between Leah and Liam. I could be both. I could be whoever I wanted to be. I decided to embrace a fluid identity, allowing myself the freedom to express different facets of who I was. Some days I felt more like Leah. Other days I felt more like Liam. And that was okay. The dare that started as a joke had transformed into a journey of self-acceptance and growth. It wasn't about proving anything to anyone else. It was about discovering who I truly was. 6 months later, I stood in front of a mirror, preparing for a special dinner. Alex had planned something romantic to celebrate our 6-month anniversary. As I applied a final touch of lipstick, Jenna appeared in the doorway, grinning. "You look amazing," she said. "Thanks," I replied, turning to face her. "For everything. I couldn't have done this without you." She waved off my gratitude, but I could see the emotion in her eyes. "You did this on your own, Leah. I just gave you a nudge." As I walked out the door that evening, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known before. The dare may have ended, but my journey was just beginning. Because sometimes it takes a leap of faith and a little bit of courage to discover the person you were always meant to be. Thank you so much for watching till now. It means the world to have you here. This community is all about empowering each other and celebrating the incredible journeys of everyone on their path to living authentically. If you're ever feeling lost or alone, remember you have a whole family here for you. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and let's keep inspiring each other, sending you all the love and strength in the world. Until next time, live your life by your rules.